middle of a road. Around her, everyone is running, trying to save themselves from collapsing buildings, being destroyed by what seems to be the branches of a tree. The screen goes black, and a voice narrates the current situation of the Earth. The voice says that no human had imagined such an event could take place in their wildest dreams. In the background, we see that the buildings have been taken over by nature. The world is deserted, and it seems like no human survivors are left. Cities and towns now consist of abandoned old buildings, which are rusty and crumbling. The voice says that 2 years ago, out of nowhere, the plants that gave humans life killed everyone in their way to take over the world. Their branches swallowed one city after another. Within only a week, they killed most of the world. Similarly, in a year, 80% of the world was covered by plants. It is now 2 years since the first plant attack. A man named Yang Hao and his daughter, Yuan, missed the last evacuation that took place during the attack and were left in the city with no one around. They have since been trying to survive alone in the abandoned city. Yuan is in the forest, looking at a little puppy in fascination, when suddenly her father, Yang, drags her away from it. He is mad at her for running away from their safe zone without telling him. As he scolds her, Yuan runs away, chasing the dog. Yang follows behind, asking her to stop because it is dangerous out in the woods, but the little girl doesn't listen. Suddenly, his watch starts to ring, indicating that the sun is about to set. This makes Yang even more nervous because the plants come out during the night. Eventually, he reaches deep in the woods, where he sees his daughter in front of a massive tree-like structure. The branches of the tree are wrapped around dead bodies of humans that hang in midair. The branches are moving and seem to be eating the dead bodies. One branch opens wide at them, making the two run away. It chases them around the forest. Soon, other branches crawl on the ground behind them as well. Yang and Yuan get out of the woods just in time and get to the part of the land where the sun is still shining. The branches burn a little in the sun and retreat to the woods. Yang finally brings Yuan home and locks the doors shut. Later, he puts Yuan to sleep and sets a tracker in her watch so he knows where she is at all times. Then, he tries to contact other human survivors through radio signals, but to no avail. He soon falls asleep and dreams of the time the first attack took place. Yang's wife Yan was a scientist specializing in environmental science and plant biology. She and her team were trying to create a type of drug that could help plants grow at a rapid rate. All that was to reverse the effects of deforestation on the planet. However, the drug that was supposed to better the future of mankind destroyed humans altogether because of a miscalculation. The drug accelerated the reproduction of plant cells, but it also accidentally liberated the stress system of plants and awakened their emotions. Hence, the plants could now feel anger and pain and became extremely dangerous. It was like any other normal day when the plants first attacked. Yang, Yuan, and Yan were in their car, stuck in traffic, when Yan got a call from her colleague, who frantically told her about the drug malfunction. Before they could comprehend the information, the ground started shaking and loud noises were heard. Yang got out of the car to people running around the road. Just then, he sees a massive branch emerging from the ground far away. Back in the present, Yang wakes up to a noise and is horrified to see Yuan's bed being taken over by some branches. They have followed the two to their house from below the ground. The branches drag Yuan, along with her bed, into the ground. Yang tries to get to his daughter, but she disappears within seconds. Now, the distressed father looks at his watch, which shows him Yuan's location. He hurriedly follows the signals and reaches an old building. Using his UV torchlight for protection, he goes into the building. A while later, he finds Yuan's watch, which had the tracker. Then, he hears her yell for help from somewhere inside. Yang rushes towards the noise and sees his daughter in a dark corner, trying to save herself from the plant using a UV torchlight of her own. The branches don't approach her, fearing the light, but before Yang can get to her, the light's battery dies and Yuan is left in the dark, making it easy for the branches to engulf her. Yang throws his torch at his daughter at the last moment to save her. However, the branches still don't give up and start grabbing the little girl. Yang then finds a fire extinguisher on the ground, which he uses to break the walls of the building. The sunlight from outside causes the branches to retreat. Yang falls to the ground and gets a vision of when he saw his wife for the last time. After a few hours of the plants wreaking havoc in the world, Yan takes Yang and Yuan to her lab, where she tells them that only UV rays are the plant's weakness. But there is no way to stop the spread because the plants are growing at an exponential rate. As she rapidly goes through the chemicals, a wall nearby crumbles down, and a branch creeps in, attacking the family. Yang tries to save his wife and daughter, but Yan is eventually dragged away. Back in the present, Yang is still on the ground as the branches from the dark corners of the room drag him. As Yuan tries to save her father, a soldier named Limo appears out of nowhere and starts fighting the branches. Soon, she is joined by a group of soldiers who battle against the plants bravely to save Yang and Yuan. At last, Yang helps a confused soldier to initiate a device that generates powerful UV rays and gets rid of all the plants in the room. After the fight, the leader calls their commander and tells him about Yang and Yuan, referring to them as two stranded survivors. As Yang talks to the group, they show him a device called the N2 Agentia, which they refer to as the only hope for humanity's survival. They further reveal that they work for an organization formed by the people of all the surviving nations of the world called the Joined Forces. It turns out that the Central Academy of Science has predicted the plants are growing more powerful with time, and in just 2 days, a second wave of destructive plants will attack different parts of the world. If the plants are not stopped, they will cause more harm than they already have. Hence, the soldiers, like many other soldiers in the world, have been given a task to fit the aforementioned Agentia device into the plant's root so that the monstrous plants can be destroyed as a whole. Right then, one soldier receives a signal on his tablet that says something underground is coming their way at a very high speed. Everyone panics when suddenly, the ground breaks open and the device that was emitting the UV rays is pulled into it. The leader of the soldiers, Yuan, Yang, and Limo, fall underground along with it. They are immediately attacked by the branches. They manage to defend themselves for some time, but then the leader of the squad gets severely injured in the process. Before the group can help the men, a massive dangerous branch approaches their way. It can only sense people if it hears a noise, so everyone keeps quiet. However, the branch gets close to Yuan, making her crash onto a nearby shelf and drop something from it. The branch hears the noise and attacks Yuan. She runs away and is saved by her father seconds before the branch can get her. The branch still doesn't stop and is about to kill all of them when the injured leader fires at it to get its attention. This makes the branch wrap itself around the leader and catch him in its grip. He tells the others to run away before bringing out a grenade, planning to sacrifice himself for them. At last, the grenade explodes, killing the leader and the branch. The force of the explosion sends the other three flying, but they safely reach outside and reunite with the others. Before they can continue the mission, one of the soldiers asks Yang to join them because he is a technician who can be of use to them. However, Yang rejects the offer. He starts walking away along with Yuan, but she stops him midway. The little girl says that she wants to save the world along with Yang and the soldiers. She persuades Yang to help with the mission, and the two join the soldiers again. Now the group makes its way to the launch station, the place where the device to kill the plants can be activated. On their way, a soldier receives a radio signal on his tablet that alerts them of the second wave of plants coming their way. Just then, the ground starts to shake and a nearby building starts crumbling. The group runs away from the building for their lives. Yang is confused because the second wave was supposed to arrive in 2 days, but a soldier explains that some waves will start earlier than the others, and it will happen all around the world. They then get inside a bus while the branches start emerging from the ground. However, the last soldier, who has the device, is caught by the branches. He throws the device to his friends and dies in the process. The others get in the bus and drive away, but are chased. They soon fall off a cliff and crash into a building. They somehow manage to get off the bus, and the place goes silent, indicating that the branches have left. A soldier named Lee tells them that it is because the wave of attack was smaller than what is coming next. The group tries to contact the commander, but they lose the signal and are stranded. But fortunately, Yang notices a signal tower in the building right in front of them. They plan to go to the other building to try to get the signal. The only problem is that they have to cross a rusty bridge to reach the other building that can break at any time. Gathering much courage, they move forward and reach the middle of the bridge, but before they can get to the other end, a building nearby starts falling to the ground. The soldiers brace themselves for the worst-case scenario, but fortunately, the building misses them by a short distance. However, the commotion makes Yuan fall off the bridge. A soldier named Li saves her just in time by hanging on to a rope. Yang pulls the rope upwards to save both, but the rope starts to break because of the weight. At last, Li lets go of the rope so Yang can save his daughter. He sacrifices his life with a smile on his face for the little girl. Next, the soldiers, along with Yang and Yuan, make it to the other building and get access to the radio signals. They contact the commander, who makes a common announcement to them and other teams throughout the world who are fighting the plants. He says that the second wave of attack is arriving in 4 hours, according to new data, so there is no way they can complete their mission in time. Moreover, the roots of the plants are protected by several branches around it, so they cannot plant the device in it. He orders the soldiers to give up and return home. Before the connection can be lost, Yang gets on the speaker and talks to the commander. He asks the commander not to let their sacrifice go to waste and to continue the mission. Besides, seriously, what the hell is the point of giving up? His speech grabs the attention of the people from around the world who are listening to him. At last, the commander gives them a green light to continue the mission. The group then reaches the launch tower and activates the system to plant the device to the plant's root. The device is launched, but it gets stuck midway because of the branches protecting the root. Similarly, the other countries who are on the same mission also fail. Now the group has no hope left. Suddenly, a noise is heard in the tower, which they recognize as noise from the volcano nearby. It is revealed that the launch tower uses geothermal energy from the lava underneath the ground to maintain itself. Hearing this, Yang gets an idea. He proposes that they destroy the underground maintenance system that controls all the lava. This will make the lava drop onto the branches protecting the roots, and the Agentia device can reactivate. Now, a soldier named Guy, Yang, and Limo make their way to the underground maintenance system with an explosive, but they are soon attacked by plenty of branches. Yang gets heavily injured in the commotion, and Guy loses his life. Yang and Limo somehow survive, and Limo drags him forward. They reach a door where Yang tricks Limo and locks her outside for her safety. He asks her to take care of his daughter after his death, making it evident that he wants to sacrifice himself for humanity. He then goes further in and reaches the maintenance room. Using the CCTV camera in the room, he says his last goodbye to Yuan. At last, the explosive detonates, killing Yang and destroying the maintenance room. The lava then drops on the branches that were protecting the roots and burns them. Because of this, the Agentia device restarts and makes its way to the root and destroys the whole system that the plants run on. As a result, the massive branches fall apart and the Earth returns to its original form. The movie ends as Yuan, Limo, and the group overlook the city. Yuan narrates that humans believe they are the best creatures of the world, but they are nothing compared to nature. Hence, humans should never mess with nature, as it has power to both